Yes, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I mean, Guna Proboso, the running mates, Dr. Matthew Pukuprempe. Party in Greater Accra, they also say BS, Guso. When if you are me, you share babies, a total money a day. Greater Accra, the battlegrounds, because the votes here, no, will be a bit dances are huge, and so. Quite be able see it making significant impact, and so the NPP is working very hard, and so we're doing the one-on-one, making sure that we touch every corner, every area that is required. The most important thing that some of us have always been saying is that power. Yes, there are certain minuses, there are flaws, there are certain things, but if you put the overall part in the performance in the last 8 years and the balance sheet here, I think so we have performed quite better.
All right, what will share me medical for I've been to Afefa WhatsApp and text message lines and so 0202-115-445. Sounds na bit me share your Facebook opinion no ho na magibre na makan dia ma said dia jumedie no esifa ko enra na I don't know. I think Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia share creatives in Ubi, and as a part of more strategy, say you want to touch base with all the creative arts and the tourism space, you know. Anna.
Doc, unim say elections to see, and Ghana say the political space now is very, very, very competitive and open, and so political party biano also publics are very, very, very significant. All the publics in this country are very, very significant, but you need to touch all of them because policy I want. Mr. Ghana, instead of pay attention to maybe the social contract, that is the manifesto, and as a presidential on the platform, and you might be but to show them one-on-one, they give you. You able to tell them what is it, and that's what our president in waiting is doing. And Hong Kong, and not only the creative arts, but all the various publishers. He will touch everywhere because Obey president for the entire country will be a very, very important to the New Patriotic Party. So that's why we are your motto is the development in freedom, and we are making sure that every Ghanaian will live here in this country. With freedom and with development, because we our talent, we our and media man. That is why NPP, your philosophy is say you enterprises, and so the private-led economy near the other. That is why our president is doing. Solo, they say me, you know, Ivan, they say, Mrantia is very, very active. So much Ashama for me presidential candidate, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and I'm convinced I'm free Ashaman. Justice Kenamevo ASL. In fact, this time round is a homeboy project. I see. Ashaman is a homeboy project, and there's no way. Who be Kessie background, and there's no say operation 100,000. Or the then why your pronuma was 100,000 so look now also Saturday baby it's just say baby I'm a fabia yellow adding yellow no age baby say you catch them say you come man macro maybe who go for you determine Okrumasi movement for change. There is no political party you determine spiritually, physically, morally, academically, BPR same movement for change. I see. Tuesday, 25th of September 2023. Obekaya Mofidi Subia Soria Butterfly, the lifespan 2 weeks. In fact, the following day in the crowd, John Boy the crowd, no, this three. The guy come about test. Hey, Alan, why take why make it the biggest mistake? You had it, I was saying, I want to determine so say, and on your name was Oral and Chemantin, 18 days was Ashanti region. The baby of the Kubiano, as part of our caravan tour, or the walk in the big cattle. Okay. And the walk in a town, 350 communities are quite in a very year. Kwasiada. Okay. And Jira said, Memendano, on a Kumasi for a bidi Kasubu and Nanti over the street of Kumasi. Okay. And doctor, I can assure you, say, Ashanti region movement for change will not get less than 57%.
57%.
Take it from me. Trust our figure.
Mamintre.
Nebo any date so come.
Okay. And they are 17th.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Na family eka ho.
Mate.
Na Emma omo sa video we omo fanto.
Okay.
For that chasem.
Production team mun taking
me ana my announcement
we.
Ana my specific because I'm 57%.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Yebeba na yedin command Ivan. What do you mean say would the train now we share political space and so far who near saying?
Oh, I think that they can make sure I'm in charity for because monitoring from the social space, you know, you see the social lapses in our system are so many. Incentives as yet to be created for young people to take advantage of, you know very well so such incentive do not exist, and we're just hoping say in the past it's the reason why right now you see a lot of young people very active and very vocal on various social media platforms trying to say we can no longer sit behind and hope people will do the right thing, you understand? So there be a makase working on this country in a collective effort, a concerted effort across board, no be to give out their best just to ensure that you see getting power to do the right thing. It's not always about putting good people in power, but also getting people who sit back and make sure they do the right thing. Yes, that is why we are yet in China. We are the sentinels. We are destined to protect the foundations of our democracy. So you relinquish that particular sacred responsibility. Now, people in power will always do whatever that they want to do. And I don't know, with the many excesses that we see, corruption, greed, whatever, is because over the years, and the average and ordinary Ghanaian thinks he's not involved. He's just a spectator sitting afar watching what is happening from a distance. But I think with the various platforms now, you could see that advocacy and that kind of way is getting to a certain level. And the social media acquire a space it can stop certain political decisions, you understand? It's unfortunate our president to a certain extent has become so belligerent. Sometimes issues may be bad, the pressure, everything is there, but he wouldn't budge. That is the problem. But we are pressing and we are hoping things will get better.
All right. Ntiabusia komodina na yegusua ya de breo no. Ezakutia ma me fa won share with this particular discussion. The EC saying say certified register no. Omo hwe nim say at least first week in November there na bibia ye kama so that the parties can now be fully be assured say going into 2024 elections, bibia as a party NPP Mojin saying.
Well, I think quite often but I'm on several platforms where you see political party via or power or communicators speaking for the EC. For me, I think it's wrong. I'm that type. I see it as it were because I'm not an EC. Me don't you
at all.
I don't work for EC. I have a stake in what EC does. Into my job is to win political power. EC and protect ballot papers and money. Only the right thing. Doc, I would say you do pempenswa as a country. I will say you start advocating for. You say you talk about on the 7th of December every 4 years. So a constitutional convention in this country. Or say you start seeing conventions for the EC's work. So i.e. time ban also more registration mine.
Oh, I know they say captured in the CIs.
Time ban, yes. Time ban also release the documents be registered political also and those are the things that we need to discuss as political parties. Here in timelines then you say obey easier utimi fabric bi ope
as a fever bi
wa rise me catch me the beba or china me the beba or chinechi no be say mempene obi say how do we review the even data no I want at what time no see then you whoever also after these elections as a country we should begin to discuss it because say elections malpractices elections in your mind say and indeed Africa we have that history a very negative political history of Africa. Is that you better to about baby and any pay. And then we bet Tinanko for kind of to a banana nipa say we don't need to have that kind of thing.
Exactly.
And you need bread they can say you better to about and you be preaching for peace. Peace a bedfellow of development. A country be a peace our one and a development cost. Now be say you better to about now I don't share video be I say go for be the 2 at 1 or mububo no mo be bomb pie. And I will say, Nyankopon no edubra obeto aba na obebom pa ya kire ne say ehia peace no o say when yes I am grant two peace now we the enye o ye nyoma enko. I don't think so. So for me, yes he say on the bar first week in November, I think it's a mini problem. At least no ye nyina as political actors, political animals and as politicians one way or the other, no say you see a my template or my guidelines be a bit media check. You advocating for some of these things that every Ghanaian for kwanya bit media check. Say you see or exhibit register no. Okay, yeah. The patronage wasn't good.
Yeah.
Then now you be because you didn't say on the day about 12 embo how much 12 nanko for akwa DQ doc
of course yeah
nti eba ne say na ade na obegina so de ato aba no ye se bra be hwese odi wo mu de no ye unkonkohwe. You see how the kind of a country that we find ourselves, and some of us as politicians no say shase na ye engage asofo so mboa imams fo mboa na ye engage the thinking of Ghanaians regarding these things. You see okay assemble akonse ono EC does not have any idea to regulations in favor of it. For me, these comments are solid, are strong, and they should continue to make these things. Whilst we keep making sure that there is transparency, there is cooperation, there is understanding. Because you're moving into these elections. This election is the most crucial elections ever. Because you are having a political party already 16 years.
Yes.
NPP, already 16 years. You're 16 years. And this is 16 years. So who is who? Tetina, near Bobo, and I say champion of champions. Champion of champions match, never bono. Into champion of champions match, who play a good beer, so maybe Okofana. Because you ought to win. And NPP, we are destined to make history this time round. Intermediate, ye see no more ye beer beboa. And me fuck kwenye isu asre say data number out political parties ni nyina very very critical about these documents because ye nyina ye nyoma ebe ye no and ebeboa on the 7th.
Okay.
By the 9th 10th ye boa na Dr. Mahmoud ba umi awini a ye mpese ebe ye twetwin because and now you will be a council about investment in this country. In the last 6 months, people aren't interested. The reason is that we are singing war songs. I think I watched some video. Be say, "We are now." Abattoir is development.
Yeah.
I'm saying it today. Abattoir. And on the 7th of December, about a development. Because baby, your mind, you want to say they are million kind. Or say for me, I don't have a problem because yes, I will be paying where we are advocating a youth development near the other. But then you must also ask yourself, say, who advocating for development and youth also opportunities are then So right. These are all the things that we need to do. So for me, I think EC should go by it and ensure say IPAC meetings, very, very passionate discussions, let's continue. So that on the 7th, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia would emerge victorious and the transformation plan, they will join us together and then we can move the country forward.
Most is saying, as much as I know, me feel say it has delayed, but what can we do?
Many akotia yadwi a number of things I work on, but I don't think on our the party position on the matter because this is completely opposite what the New Patriotic Party is saying.
Okay.
I didn't know also defend the Electoral Commission when we all know say the independence of the EC, no, it's not in doubt. It's cast in stone. Constitution. But for the last 32 years here, NPP, NDC, SSO, NPP were more defending EC, NDC were more defending EC. Oko opposition and no oppose. At the end, I am the Electoral Commission in Tia. Ufri abemo na opese, okase onyadi. Memaka on this platform say, Jane Mensa, any boss Manasari, any team administration, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Omoni yeno, mame confidence, omo yenko for, ompese, omo share free, fair, credible elections.
What's me saying?
And I may bahui. Share. Uko school biano husi actual speak English. As I'm Koran Cabrofo. Electoral Commission, the last 1 year, statement be on issue be of the trust our credibility. Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I don't know, opesa, all the efforts and go for the credibility. God, why wouldn't him say and go for and trust all? Not the engine and you partner to my animal trust all. And when ye be a wide, why? Number one, yet motor and the other from BVD machines. Soldier phone and ring, Electoral Commission. No, initially, I'm saying no credit. It's remember G2. The limited registration. Are they be registered for 25,000? Was he registered 29,000? Your bomb was say a mistake. My sign. Are they be registered 49,000? Was 43,000? Your bomb was a mistake. And now we are more voter exhibition. Yani independent candidate, mu tweet say outcast. Abraham Moje 100,000, Moje political parties 100,000. More voter registers, no maybe.
Yes, a political parties.
We are going to be no. Then I now 100,000. We are going to be pandu. And no crown nanche. More political parties voter register be. Ana odon for be NDC for a year any ado. So omo de omo to omo as so omo behwehwem. Ekwa donko menye sure kwa se obie we one page kra obie CPP for mbie NPP for no kra no I don't think so obie and NDC I identify problems with the register any movement for change ye ni binti no na ye trying the response from the EC is as ye mfa hwehwe emwa nti response na be mi hu se ensem na NDC can no kra bi o man because ye no NDC and trust home obetua be dintro so ti ase my new election na ye kono a ye ka se NPP nya on bewiem no NDC so nya obewiem e di ye movement for change ye interest ne se ye be ya ma bibia mu ayede ada okroje ana wa Electoral Commission begitu mu se ampa pusiga 38 votes be were illegally transferred finito ye wi asem wa begiatu so fraud vicious everything. And until me feel say you be audit. Afi IT system most sad you know it take place because not some your friend is say programs be the liveliness as they need new thing to be mark kwan. And how many of such programs any software more see liveliness na no and also be mark kwan mo bi twa dey abawrem no see ehwem. Ye kasa asem no not General Secretary of the NPP Mark Menu any your friends say organizer and abimu kase say Electoral Commission e makwa me ye audit na the new patriotic party almost 7 years a body corporate you know omu nyina be demonstration against Electoral Commission say oh yeah I'm a voter registered other fine. That's what I'm saying say maybe Akotia is not in line with their party. The party as NPP disagrees. Say Electoral Commission could be making any attempt say we clean register. And today now they are registered in India 1% Electoral Commission.
But eventually no, you move on from there. Because your party is in Nigeria to say. No, but you see, the provisional register no largely no parties in the at the last IPAC meeting. No, my
parties, any movement you're into.
And I said now you are no more IPAC meeting.
No. Inter-party advisory committee. But as go for grow money so.
But this is. But I mean, me feel say after the ballot, you guys have been allowed into
the Kruman, you're progressive, you're retarded, it's a development. What give me 100,000? Why a balloting? Alan, number 13. And the open stakeholders are. What is the business of what is the PSG for Equine Park?
Yes, disqualified
the presidential candidate or no could take a decision about Alan or contested. Now, most of you progressive minded people. All them pass. Now, beyond that, Electoral Commission, I'm yet say, anytime I remember my dear friend provisional register piano, I just say, inform so bit me.
Yeah.
On what basis do we print ballot? Based on what figures?
The last IPAC meeting, say we know. Anticipate say.
How can you anticipate
problems?
How can you anticipate? You see,
2%.
And yet, you see, what is
plus or minus?
What is preventing
with whatever figures?
What is preventing electoral commission so the final registered member?
Oh, so say, yeah, we have so my year exhibition be exhibition after.
And Janet, I won't get me exhibition. I said I'll print to ballot.
A brainy ho.
A brand dorsal, a brand crack and a dorsal.
Now is by law. No, I was registered a cap parties in 90 days to election.
And the say electoral commission has other ideas. Okay, part of the day. You move forward. Yeah, move forward. And say, James also tears here. Only boss Masari no one to say. Or mind be our spirit. Nobody can change the will of the country. And yes, and incumbent administration be anywhere be winning election. Well, incumbent administration be ano. They be your plan say abatuo obechimunsa. But the spirit of the country prevails. I remember in 2000, when I was in the NPP, 2000, NDC Echo 64 Battalion, Ebel Kumase Bantima. By 7 a.m., that first battalion person. Soldiers for us Katai. That I go on the one papa in the command because the spirit of the country is bigger than your plan, your strategy. And it is earlier all the it will save all of us the trouble. After all, contestants in the there will be only one outcome.
Yes.
Ube winning and also be there. Ube lose. Also, Babesum. Timemvosi ya maonsuma we echiwaje be no
no answer also sanema now
but so person timemvosi ye pe chei anase ye pe doctor now what you say in your view no what did do one nya adwene obechimu ade ama Solomon de me kra enyem de I say akokọ a obutu kokohwe de nkosua so
okay
eno ntina make a chance one starting ye ne nyoma yi all right but so far the omo ye ne de credibility be any
I see.
Doc, my just a quick clarity. Once I make Casano, make can say me colleagues communicators, no, but now radio, so any TV, so I defend.
Yeah,
me, I am against it.
No, I told you, sir.
Right position.
That position is the right position, but it is contrary to your party's position.
No, that's
why who shall come from the social. Point, you know, commentator viewpoint, you know. What in some way say, what here the in some way living the independent way, and she shall move. I'm hearing it for the first time actually. Say, I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense. You see, because they are stakeholders. You can't election now. Every political party is a stakeholder, and whoever files as an independent person to contest in an election, you know, honestly a stakeholder.
Exactly.
And even those of us watching from a distance, we are all stakeholders because we all have a stake in this enterprise called Ghana at any point in time. So, Mekrana mini political party say me party near me say I have a stake. So I'm not driver new a stake because whatever be the outcome of the elections, you know, and now elections, any event is a process. Our process must begin from somewhere. You see, I've been telling people, say, you can't free and fair elections. It's not just a matter of sitting at the EC's office thinking, say, what I have done, you're right, so people should accept it. It's a process, and you need to whip people along. So as you go on, you're able to build trust and confidence. So the electoral outcome, no, people will not rise against it. Because you can come out with the best elections. A free, fair, transparent, everything. But a man forcing tuma as cause nanti. Because Africa, there are a lot of electoral violence, a lot of graveyard in Africa, all because of this. Now I don't know, Sudan. obeti muram kuratuo so a rebel. Some in the past no a doctor in the life. Or be a reverend, or be a way, but system no became so way say there was no way of making a fight against the system, and so they have to just go that particular way, no, not just to make sure say they're able to fight the system. So I had near my electoral commission identity, the posture, the attitude, then as a form, I'm not sure say it's anything that your fans engender any confidence bias will be a stakeholder, because you see, we are working for everybody. Going into these elections, the stakes are very high. The stakes are very high. Your job is to ensure, say, we will remain neutral, build confidence, and at the end of the day, whatever be the outcome of the elections, you know, it is up to the people, you understand? But if you try, say, you do everything to bend the legitimate will of the people, at this point in time, no, you should know that you are in for trouble, especially looking at where we find ourselves in. Let Ghanaians go to the ballot. Let them decide. The Ghana for I don't know, your team, but you don't, as an institution, because you have a certain leverage power, being to know, you think that you own somebody something, and you need to make sure that person wins. And it's the reason why I confess but because in the first place, so we had the sense of the Electoral Commission leading to this particular elections. For instance, Ghana for say you are building IT system that is so robust and impregnable to the sense that nobody can away. Now obit na pusiga. It's me logging into your system to manipulate. Then what is the assurance that the election day people cannot break into your system?
Well, as you say, my assurance is insulted.
No, but you can't take them serious. You can't take the Electoral Commission serious because the kind of argument we make here in the past, but people, among four have been able to break. And another can about BVD machines are stolen till date. Update at saying what is the guarantee that such devices cannot be used. And you see, I've created that doubt. Man for war. Watching the Electoral Commission with bull's eye, you understand? So, and I quite mokasa. And yeah, there are sometimes Electoral Commission about there was a timer. I think NDC raised a very important argument about this whole. Then somebody from the Electoral Commission came and said, 2016 election, you can make such a reckless, irresponsible comment in a public space because you are not speaking for yourself, you are speaking for a commission. You understand? And we are never way, we are not said. Hopefully, so you still get people to believe in what you're doing now. It will not be there because this register here I can't once a mean. Yeah, almost exhibited the final register early November, right? Yeah. Early November is up to 15th. Early. It's up to, you can't early now, it's up to 5th because December is 31. Yeah. So the rest of the 16 is late. So just imagine. So at that point, you know, what they register Babontin and such anomalies, all over Babontin is likely, say, so process by now from at that particular point to ensure that you rectify these anomalies. Say, a month for Bejatum say indeed you are working. Because Nippon away elections, you know, one casa process now we and there are a lot of your friends saying discrepancies, I bet. So you say, just sit down, make sure say you audit the paper. Sabaya, obia or yes stakeholder no, at least we'll have trust because when people believe in the system, a vote for the credibility of the Electoral Commission, you understand? Yeah. But we had the posturing, that kind of belligerent posture. I don't know, created this doubt. Tension building around this particular elections in the air corner. So from where I stand, you know, I think the Electoral Commission and the it's like they are sitting on a certain island and everybody is watching them. We see that has always been the convention. The government in power, no, there you have a lot of people more supportive and so forth, but it's not up to them. You understand? The stakes are quite high. Now, one year, near magic in Kenya. My culture said, we see every revolution be creating the forces. Sana every violence and now war be creating the victims. Because BBC Chrome has to see a woman. Obia or the shadow. So one mergement crowd so will be or them. People will come and look for you. So you don't make yourself an easy target or some kind of way. Do the right thing. Make sure say you don't attempt to bend the legitimate will of the people. Give the power to the people. Let them decide. Because look at how Ghana for you find your home in. You cannot do anything say wanna sabotage the process. No. Just give Ghanaians that particular power. No, they don't control about whoever they decide now. But boss man, Asari, J. Mensan, and as for I think say there are critical stakeholders in this country over the years, and they've been very quiet. Peace Council, then as for minim say na obeka peace no minim say do elections and peace no yeah, because it should be a culture we walk throughout. Exactly. You understand? Okay. You don't sit somewhere and make sure all this tension will build up, and election day you expect people say they should agree. Exactly. Remember saying any your friend say peace be that is negotiated on the premise of injustice, a war in postponement. You understand? Exactly. Because nobody will agree. Exactly. So we just had the man a war now postponing. You do everything transparent. Say a man for benya trust and way. Exactly. Now no statement the Electoral Commission the Bible quite problematic because when you final register Mabons and then you issue notice to political parties say omunshia our printing press or print a day before. You can't do these things. You understand? I think that somebody needs to sit them down and speak wisdom into their ears. Say, hey, Electoral Commission in your bona fide property and our family kind of way. You are working for the people, a state institution. Make sure, say, you caught the people, build their confidence so that the outcome of the election will be accepted.
All right. Ivan, what's in Kano?